day 14. So I thought today for our stretch session we could do it out in the garden, just for a change of scenery. Hopefully you have some green space at home as well. You can get some sunshine, just hear the birds, and just enjoy the stillness of Joburg. Today you'll need a long roller or a bath sheet or a beach towel that's been rolled up, just so that it's got about this much of a roll. If you have a pool noodle, that could also work at home. So let's start up and high kneeling today. After 14 or 13 days of Pilates, I think a stretch today is definitely needed. So you're going to lift one leg up. Usually when you see people stretching their hip flexors, they're pushing forward like this to get into that hip. What I want you to do today is to push forward so you feel it coming through into your quad, and then you're going to tilt your pelvis backwards. So it's less pressure on that front knee, but yes, you're getting a really good stretch. And you're going to hold this, and you're going to breathe. I put my hands on my hips just so that I can feel that my pelvis is tilted backwards, tailbone's tucked in, and I am pushing forward, but I'm not collapsing and hinging on that joint. To go a little bit deeper into the stretch, you're going to lift your opposite arm to your hand, and you're going to reach over. Trying not to rotate forward, but rather, and this just deepens that stretch. If it's too much, then you stay in the previous position. And swapping sides. Easing out of that position, and then knee up. Pushing forward until you can feel that stretch through the quad and into the hip flexor, and then tucking in and deepening that stretch. It's a very subtle movement, but it's very effective. Reaching your opposite arm up and over. And this side I don't even have to reach that far over to work more into that hip flexor. Coming down into a clam position, feet together, as close or as far as you're comfortable with. Some people might need to be in that position, others can bring it closer. You want to get your knees as close to the ground as possible, and that is comfortable for your knees and for your hips. And for straight back, you're going to reach forward. Breathing into the stretch. As you're holding it, if you feel you can go a little bit further, once you feel more at ease, drop a little bit deeper. If you need to, you can help your one knee over onto the other knee. And again, you're going to be reaching up and stretching over. So if I place you in dirt, knees are stacked, almost mermaid sitting, and you're reaching over. You should be feeling this down this side. I always find I'm more stiff on one side than the other, so one side doesn't really feel the stretch. And then when I do the other one, I realize what it's meant to feel like. Bringing your top knee back, squaring off that front so that you're sitting at a 90-degree angle with your knee and your hip, trying to keep both sits bones down This back leg might lift slightly, but try and keep your weight even, and then you're going to reach your chest over that front leg and go as flat as you can. If you can get yourself flat, that's great, but try and keep your back flat and that you're not just doing this, your chest is moving towards your leg. You can go down onto elbows and it's comfortable. Try and focus on your breathing during these stretches. Breathe into where it's pulling. And using your arms to come back up. Stacking knees the other way. And reaching up and over. Top leg backwards, front leg into the 90 degree, and folding your chest down. Trying to get those hip bones squared. And breathing into it. I can hear the bees, I can hear the wind in the trees. Neighborhood dogs. And using your arms to come out of it. The next exercise, you'll need your towel or your roller. You're going to place it along your mat or on the floor. You're going to sit on the end, gently roll back onto it so that your head is nice and supported. Knees are bent. This might be enough of a stretch for your shoulders. Lowering your arms down, palms up, and if you can, snow angel those arms up as far overhead as you can manage and back. And you're just feeling a beautiful chest opener. Letting those shoulders drop back. If you find you have too much neural tension through your arms, you can bend your elbows. And you just move as high as you can. If it's to there and back down, that's fine. And coming off your towel, off your roller, onto your back. We're going to combine two of the stretches we did last week. You're going to bring your leg up into figure 4. And then you're going to drop away from that figure 4. Arms out wide if that's what you need. Slowly coming back up to the top. If you need to uncross your legs, and come back to center. That's fine. Top leg up. Feeling this stretch first of all, and then dropping those knees down. Trying to keep your shoulders planted. If you want to add to it, you can turn your head in the opposite direction. But if that's not needed today, then you stay looking up to the ceiling or the sky, I hope. Coming back up to the center. The next one might be a bit hard for you to see. I'm going to bring my feet together in the one corner of my bottom mat. Reach my arms overhead, and instead of being at the opposite corner, they're going to rotate or shift towards the same corner. So you're getting a stretch through this whole side of your body. Lengthen your body through the stretch. Toes away from your fingers, fingers away from your head. Bringing your arms towards the opposite corner and bringing your legs across. And stretching the opposite side of your body. Trying to keep your hips flat. Both sits bones are on the mat still. Not rolling onto that left side that you're stretching towards. And coming out of it. Onto your stomachs. Head in a nice comfortable position so it can be on your side. Right arm reaching back to pull your right knee towards the buttock. Hips are nice and flat. Knees flat. If you're feeling you want more of a stretch, you can pick your knee up off that mat. But for me, I don't need that. I'm just concentrating on keeping my heel towards my buttock. But if this is not enough, then you're going to lift that knee. Keeping those hips nice and grounded and feeling that front of your thigh, that quad stretch. If you can't reach your foot, you can wrap a towel around it and reach for the towel or a belt. If you're up there, you just go to wherever you need to be. And releasing. Swapping sides, same arm with same leg. Just noting the differences between the left versus the right. Which muscles are tighter than other muscles? Is there symmetry in your body? It gives us an idea of our movement patterns, but also possibly how our body is tricking and using one side more than the other side. Our brains are very clever. They'll always take the path of least resistance, even if it's not necessarily the correct way to do it. Up into 4-point kneeling. This time we're not going to work with stability and activating the muscles. We're going to work on mobility. So I'm really going to see, I'm going to arch my back, tuck my tailbone in. So usually we try and keep our pelvises nice and stable. This time I'm going to really round into it, tucking my tailbone in and pushing it out and in and out. So this is what we call cat and cow. And this is when you're working on mobility. The others we've been doing during class have been more about learning to activate those muscles correctly in 4-point kneeling. Now I want you to try and do a clock. So try and go in a circle. Tuck in, push out to the side, push that tailbone out, out to the side, tuck in. This is surprisingly difficult. And tuck in, push out, and let's go the other way. So pushing that tailbone out, out to the right, tucking it in, hollowing your tummy, pushing those hips out to the left, and then pushing that tailbone back up. Coming back to center, pushing those hips back, opening knees if you need to, reaching forward and really breathing. Using your arms to come back up onto your haunches, rocking back into a deep squat if you're able to, holding on if you need to. If you also want to put something underneath those heels, like folding your mat over, that's another nice way to be able to achieve this position. And just melting some of that tension in your pelvis. Often when we're a little bit anxious, our pelvic floor is tight, and this is a lovely way to release that pelvic floor. You need to open your knees a little bit more, sit into it further. A nice way to do this if it's a hard position for you is to use the coffee table, and you just hold yourself as to whatever length or height you need to be. Putting your hands down, hips up to the ceiling, bringing your feet fist width apart, softening those knees, rocking your head, breathing in and out. And in and out. I hope you enjoyed that and you're all ready for one more week of Pilates. See you tomorrow.